If you could live green, would you? I'm Nick Federoff, host of Things Green, where we introduce nuggets of green lifestyle from gardening, upcycling, answering your questions, sustainability, even discussing environmental issues. You can become more confident in making the right decisions for you and your family. So come along as we are Things Green. All right, so this is what the planters now look like, huh?
Yes, sir.
Look at this. I was here in the infancy. You didn't even have soil in here
Nope.
at the time. Okay, so you ended up building these boxes. And then I remember you had smothered something on the inside. What did you do that for?
Yep, we did bidethine wrap on the inside to keep
Bidethine?
Bidethine.
You so made that word up. What is that?
I did not. it's a oil-based product that they use for waterproofing foundations.
Okay.
So it's a thick black membrane,
Okay.
and we wrapped it around the wood to keep the wood from rotting.
Okay. So did I see the guy actually putting some kind of mastic on there too?
We have a couple of different versions here. We did
Okay.
bidethine on a couple. We did some roofing tiles, tar paper, and we probably did some Henry's on some of them too.
Well, I'll never forget, I was at the Rose Parade once, and the company that we were working with at the time, part of the dealio was that I had to take a bunch of planters like this that were just real simple, super simple, and they were shellacked and stained and everything. They were pretty. It just amazed me how many people wanted to know how to build that. And it was just basically 4 pieces of plywood with a bottom on it.
Yep.
That was it. And people just sometimes just couldn't do that. But you went a step further because you end up doing this and you've got this mitered. And this looks like it's all treated wood. You see these?
Yeah.
This is actually kind of interesting. See this little stuff right here? These little lines? So the story on these little lines is that they inject a chemical inside of it so that you don't get any kind of rot. Now, today they don't use chemicals in the true sense. It's all organic stuff. So I don't know what the lifespan is this, but boy, this stuff right here, if you were to use just your regular Douglas fir as opposed to something like this, Doug fir is going to rot out in 2-3 years. This will last at least 10 years.
Yep.
So that's kind of a fun thing.
Well, and the true story about these is, I don't know if you remember at the landscape show last year, these were actually our displays.
Oh!
We had plexiglass on here, we had root quenchers, and we had...
Oh, is that when we were with Catherine?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Okay.
So
I'll see if I can dig up a picture of that.
So I thought, I have some too. Yeah, so we took 2 of them and converted them into planters because they were too big to move around, and then we built 2 more.
Okay, because you have to have a match.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good for you. Okay, so I don't want to jump all over this, but actually, this is actually retrofitted with something here, which is kind of neat. What do we have going over here?
Well, we got a couple of things going on. We have seedlings that I grew in the greenhouse that I burned to a crisp because I put them out here and didn't put any shade on them. These used to be marigolds, and they got burned. And then
But you're doing something pretty interesting because you're staking out you went and does your wife know that you took this off the front door?
Yeah.
Off the door?
Yeah.
So you're actually taking this and flopping it over there to protect it.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so at the time of the recording of this, it's pretty interesting. It's supposed to be 3,000 degrees.
Yes.
Okay, so what I've done is that I just pulled out yesterday, I am taking and covering my whole greenhouse with shade cloth.
Oh, nice.
And you're doing basically the same thing here, except for that you're demolition in your yard.
Right.
your house.
Yeah.
That's what you said.
Well, you know, like you said, this house is a scientific experiment all the way around.
It
so
is.
there you
The
go.
whole yard. This place just absolutely amazes me. Okay, so you're protecting the seedlings.
Yep. And now what we've done a couple of interesting things. One, I put nice fresh compost in from the greenhouse. So this is fresh soil.
Okay. And you know what? Compost isn't supposed to stink. It's supposed to smell like earth. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
I don't want to rub it on myself.
Oh my gosh.
It does get in the whiskers though. Okay, so we have the compost, and we're using that to keep everything moist.
Right. And so we did a combination of things. We put in seedlings that we germinated in the greenhouse and managed to fry most of those to a crisp without covering them. And then we also put seeds in here in different quadrants and different seeds. We have some onions and I can't remember all what else. We'll find out when they grow up. But we put some seedlings here. That's what these guys are. And we have our root quencher, we have our plumbing, but we retrofitted a spike with a spray head on it because seedlings need to, that's our new thing
No kidding.
coming. So we get top-down watering because seedlings have to have that. You can't just water subsurface to get seeds to germinate. So this guy, I've actually bypassed this down here and all the spray is coming out here.
Wow. Look at you. By the way, did I mention he's an inventor? He thinks way too much. Way too much, but for the better because that's how we're saving our plants and we're saving water. Okay, so that's a really neat thing over there. So that's going to give you the spray for what we're doing. Now you have to turn the seedlings need to be moist all the time, so you have to be turning this on often.
Yes.
Okay. Yep. Now because the root quencher itself has a valve on here, are you turning this off?
Yeah, I have it.
Until?
Yes. I have it just on a little bit because we know that that's going to, keep things moist down below.
Oh, okay.
If we put the moisture sensor down here, I mean, we're actually, we're nice and moist.
You see what
right below
he
the
did? He
surface.
put the moisture sensor. He stuck his finger in there.
Yeah.
And that's what you're supposed to do.
That's a great moisture sensor. Yeah.
Look at that. Hey. And that's a really good point because when you're talking about soil, you want
I have seedlings in there, but okay.
Oh, sorry, man.
It's all right.
He has a sacrifice for the TV show. It's okay.
That's right.
So you take this right here, and here's a really good example of what your soil should be like. When you squeeze it, you don't want it wet to where it's dropping out. But when you do squeeze it, it stays together a little bit, but it breaks apart a little bit. That's called moist soil. So you probably heard me talk about, look, you see the back. Look, they already started germinating. That's how
There you
fast
go.
they are. Perfect. So when I always liken the analogy when you use a wet sponge. So you take a sponge and you wet it up, you squeeze it, and the consistency of that moisture that's in that squeezed out sponge, that's exactly what's going on over here. Absolutely perfect for germinating and for sacrificing seeds for what we're doing here. So we're going to blink our eyes. We're going to blink our eyes because what I have to my left and to your right are some planter beds that are like on steroids. And I've not seen these before like this.
Yep.
This is just amazing. You, as you were talking over here, throwing things together, this is what you do with this.
Exactly.
Look at this. All right, let's go over the different plants you have in here.
So we have a watermelon on this side.
Okay, and we'll show you what he's talking about.
We have actual, I don't know if you got a vine that's long enough to pull it
Yeah,
up.
well,
But
yeah,
there you go.
Look at that. We got some watermelon in here. Absolutely.
Beautiful watermelons.
I like that. Okay, so he doesn't have to do this here because he has it growing on concrete. But when your watermelons get to about this size, it's not a bad idea to get a board, get something, I don't care what it is, so that's not touching the ground. You put it on the board, or you could even take like a plastic tray or something and put it on top so that this is not sitting on the soil, because many times watermelon will rot out because of the soil. Why? Because you keep it too wet. That's why. In fact, watermelon, they need a lot of H2O.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got the watermelon. How many plants do we have in here?
So we have, believe it or not, just one watermelon plant.
Okay.
And then we have cantaloupe on that side.
Okay, so we'll take a look at the cantaloupe. So I can't even get over there. This is just packed. These are 4x4.
Yes.
Yeah, 4x4.
Yep.
So here's the cantaloupe. Oh yeah, look at that thing. That's beautiful. So what you want to do is you want to take and you want to cut this thing in half, and I don't care which half it is. Cut it in half, scoop out the seeds. You can save the seeds, replant them, wash them up, replant them. Or what you can do is still cut it up, take out the seeds, and take a big old dollop of ice cream, vanilla ice
I
cream.
was just going to say, vanilla ice cream and cantaloupe, that's the cat's meow right there.
It is.
Yep, that's it. And then we intermixed, and I've been doing that in all the beds, is we intermix dahlias. This is my first time growing dahlias, so I'm learning stuff.
Sure.
You know, this is not a huge success, but it's fun. True story is my great aunt, Frances,
Okay.
and her husband.
That's a story, by the way. Aunt Frances used to go and, what'd you say? Hey,
Oh,
Rob?
come on, Rob.
Come on, Rob.
So yes, but they used to grow dahlias professionally, meaning they would compete. So they were members of the American Dahlia Society.
Wow.
And they were really serious dahlia growers, and they had dahlias, like huge.
Yeah.
So I thought, well,
Give it a try.
yeah, give it a try. So I put some tubers.
Yeah.
Bought some
By the
tubers.
way, tubers are kind of like roots. That's what tubers are.
And I think in here we actually have. So this is this is interesting. That's a cantaloupe before it's starting to mature.
Mm-hmm.
These guys turned with that. They have the rough kind of grayish green,
Yeah. Here we go.
and they turn very quickly from that to
Yeah.
the other one.
Yeah. All of a sudden, you'll start seeing them get these.
And see,
Get
there's
the little lines and the little pokies on there.
and see, there's what you're talking about with it sitting on the ground.
Yeah, see how this is doing like this, sitting on the ground? You start getting this rot right here. Now, a lot, on a commercial level, they don't do that. They just let them sit on the ground. They know what they're doing under here. But,
Right.
but on a homeowner level, if you want just better success, make sure you put something underneath it. What I do is that over at the thingsgreen.com Botanical Gardens, we grow chickens. And we'll take the feed bags, and we'll cut the feed bags up because they're made out of some type of poly material. So we just stick them right underneath, and that's the way we do that.
Nice.
It's recycling. Yeah, but you're right. You'll do that, and you'll see that on pumpkins too. Where they'll take and pumpkins are green, and then all of a sudden you blink your eyes. All of a sudden they're turning orange. It's like, where did that come from? So, which is kind of nice because that gives you an indication that something like that you're not going to pick too early.
Exactly.
These little watermelons, they can kind of get kind of tough. The little ones. I grow the sugar babies. They're small like this, and boy, I'll tell you, it's tough to tell when they are ripe.
Yeah.
But I just kind of let them stay on the vine as long as possible. Then I'll take and eat them. And they have seeds in them. What's up with that?
I don't understand that. I don't know why. Well, the cool thing about cantaloupe is that that mesh, that kind of grayish tan mesh, that the little green spaces, when it gets ripe, those lighten up, so you can it tells you it's ready to go.
It's ready for vanilla ice cream.
Exactly.
That's what
Exactly.
I tell you.
Yeah.
So the only thing I would have done is architecturally speaking, this right here is out of whack. That should be over here.
Oh yeah.
But otherwise, it's just absolutely beautiful. And what you're doing is that you're attracting pollinators at the same time. So when you're putting flowers in like this, that's a good thing to do. That looks good. Okay, so that's the beginning stages.
Yep.
You're looking at the seeds, you put seedlings in, you're watering it, keeping it moist, not wet. And then before you know it, it turns into something like this, starts growing. And are you doing any fertilizing?
We just fertilized. We took some flowering AgriThrive, and I mixed up a bucket, that bucket right there, and poured it around strategically around the plants. Okay. My intention is to actually have I'm going to hook up a Chapin device to this is on a Rachio hose end timer, and I'm going to put the Chapin device in there, and I'll be able to deliver fertilizer through that to all these beds. I didn't do that because I have to treat this differently. I do have valves to shut these beds off so I can control what I'm doing. But yeah, I poured it on here, and also we have the spikes in here to water. So bucketing the fertilizer on this guy, on this bed, was perfect. The other two are different.
Okay, well, let's take a look at these right now.
Okay.
And by the way, you got a really nice backdrop here with these hollies and all their bears, all their. A lot of people don't know this, but not, everybody thinks of the regular holly, the one that has like the 5 or 6 spikes on them for making wreaths out of. But this is a holly as well. Look, it only has one of the spike, and that is sharp on there. And of course, you could tell by all the berries. Okay, now we have another planter bed. What do we got going on over here?
So we have celery.
Okay. Oh my goodness! Somebody's not harvesting. Somebody is not harvesting. Look at this. Wait a minute. I thought it was this right here, but you're attached to a whole lung over here.
Yeah.
Okay, so I am growing heirloom Armenian cucumbers.
Oh.
And they are average this big, 24 inches. Some of them will get this wide in direction. Literally the other night I had one for dinner. That's just what I had for dinner.
Nice.
Super thick skin on there. These are not them.
No.
These are different.
These are actually Japanese cucumbers.
Uh-huh. And, oh yeah, here we go. There's some more. And I would imagine the harvest time is going to be pretty soon here.
Yes, I'm waiting for this to get a little bit darker.
Okay. Then we have
we've had some bigger ones. Believe it or not, we've had a lot bigger ones off of this, off of this vine.
I grew it was a Japanese cucumber called a Kyoto. Kyoto is a town in, I don't know if they call them towns in Japan. And it was, I don't think they actually sell the seeds for them any longer because it was a test thing that I was doing. And they were getting this big. In fact, I actually had one get about this big so I could harvest the seeds out of it. Because you let these things go really big, then you can harvest the seeds and you can replant them.
Oh, nice.
And I was able to, for about 4 or 5 years, I was able to do them. And the best part is that no matter how big it got, it never got bitter.
Oh.
That's what I really enjoyed about that. Have you tried these yet?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
So we've sliced. I've taken some to work. Maria has sliced them up. We put lemon juice from our lemon tree, and we put tahini on there.
Oh, okay.
And eat them. They are amazing.
I've never done that before. I heard it's absolutely wonderful, but I like doing lemon and salt.
Yep.
Do the same thing.
Same kind of thing.
Same kind of thing there.
Well, I cut one up in my office downtown, and people literally came in and said, "What is that amazing smell?" And they're so firm and flavorful, incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really.
They don't ever get mushy on you?
I actually have a half a dozen in the kitchen that Maria's now a canner pickler.
Oh.
So
Well, she has no choice.
right. So we're gonna make some pickles.
She can only beat you with these so often. Now she's got to do something with the rest of them.
Exactly. And the ones
clubs.
And the ones inside are even bigger than this. So
Okay, and how many plants do you think you have in here?
that's one.
That's just one plant.
That's one plant. Yeah.
Nice.
And I've really enjoyed. Oh, there's another cantaloupe hanging down there. Sorry.
That's it.
I'm like a squirrel.
Let them get excited here, huh? Got another one hanging. I like it.
But yeah, this is one plant, and it's been exciting for me because I've been doing a lot of greenhouse growing, so creating these areas in the sun. Yeah, it's good stuff.
It even smells like solar.
Oh,
Creating things in the sun.
oh yeah.
Yeah. It does smell. You want to smell there? Smell.
Having
Go ahead, smell it.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's just, there's nothing like homegrown.
Yeah. So putting these in the direct sun, because I'm a little bit challenged for growing areas around here because I have the hillside, I have lots of big trees. So we built these, and to be honest with you, my wife was not exactly thrilled about these at first. But she's like, what are you doing with our driveway?
Yeah, well, you are losing about 4 spots here.
But what we did to make it aesthetically pleasing, you haven't seen this yet, is we simulated the siding from the house.
On the house.
So we picked up that architectural detail.
Is this part of the architectural detail in the house?
Yes, sir. Yes, it is.
Look at this thing. You got more of them over here.
Yes.
That's just beautiful. And then I think we got a relationship happening over here.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite ones because it's like, oh,
They're hugging each other.
hugging each other.
And from inside over here, it almost looks like a heart. This is one.
What? Oh, I thought
It's
that
one.
was two.
No, look at that.
Oh my God.
It's one.
So he's lonely. He's
Yeah.
hugging himself
Hugging
because nobody else
himself.
is around. But if you take a look, Nick, if you look at this guy, I don't want to disrupt him, but look at that big beefy guy. Yeah.
Okay. Now, while you're holding that, I see you have
Yes, sir.
something hidden in here. What is that?
Yes. So this is a pretty low-tech moisture sensor, about $30 on Amazon, and I'm really excited about actually how good this is. It does conductive measuring, so it's measuring the conductivity of water in soil. So it's kind of low-tech. It doesn't measure volumetric water content. But I've been using this in conjunction with my fancy electronic sensors, and it's
You'd be
pretty close.
Yeah, you'd be surprised how this matches up.
pretty close.
So what it is that your soil has electricity inside of it, and we call it cation and anion activity that happens. So when you stick this thing into the ground, you're going to notice that we have a big old stick right here, and then we have a plastic thing that separates this right here. And I have no idea what this all is all made of or anything like this, but I do know that if we can, let's see if this is going to work right now, because I took it out. And if you can tell the gauge, there should be nothing on the gauge. And we'll see.
And you told me to clean it off, right, every time I use it?
Yeah, you should really clean it. This has to be cleaned off. So as you stick this in the ground, it'll read moisture. So there's no moisture, no moisture, no moisture. And up, there you go. See how that jumped up there? So he's got moisture, which is pretty interesting. See how it went away? It went away. He's got moisture this far down. It's about 4 or 5 inches there into the area, which is okay because this has got to get fed with water.
Yep.
Okay. And these right here, it actually needs a watering. So you know why? Because we were doing this right here and seeing. That's the difference between, remember we're doing the soil test, the squeezing. This is just a little bit of dry right here. So you could squeeze this, and that shows you that it's too dry. But down below over there, I can guarantee it's just like that.
Yeah.
That far down.
Well, and the reason, so this is the contrast, is in that bed I'm surface watering.
Uh-huh.
So in that bed over there, I'm surface watering to take care of the seedlings and make sure they germinate. Here, this is so successful because even the roots of these guys are down 6-8 inches. I mean, they're getting down that far. So you can see that, things are thriving. These cucumber vines are kind of at the end of their life or getting towards the end of their life. That's why they're starting to look a little bit funky. But everything in these 3 beds is being watered subsurface. So the water is tending down towards the 4, 6, 8 inches. And you can see things are thriving.
Yeah, they are. Look at this. Oh, you have another tester here.
Yes, sir.
Another tester. It's showing we've got our root quencher peppers. I harvested a whole bunch of them yesterday, by the way. And then we've got some tomatoes going on over here.
Look at those
Yeah,
beds.
come on over here. Can you see this right here? This is really, really cool. Okay. See, look at this. Oh, they're so good over here.
Yeah,
Absolutely love that.
it's harvest time.
Yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool. And then you have some different varieties.
And these pepperoncinis, we just harvested literally a gallon container of these a week ago, and look at how they're growing now.
Well, that's the thing about harvesting, and people sometimes leave them on. Like, for instance, if you kept on harvesting those right there, you would have gotten more flowers.
Yep.
And in fact, I would even venture to say that once you do harvest that, I would leave the plants in because you'll get a bumper crop out of that.
Oh no, you know me and plants. I leave them in until they are
Forever.
dead and gone. Yeah. I have the plant. I might move it to the plant hospital in the greenhouse because I never give up on plants.
Hey, listen, we're out of time over here, but I just want to look. We have some
These are
tomatoes.
cherry tomatoes.
Got some
yeah.
cherry tomatoes. We've got some marigolds happening. Are these working for the insects?
Very much so. We're getting no crop damage in here because this is all surrounded by marigolds.
Now, with that, I'm going to wait till he turns his. Whoops! I'm going to wait till he turns his back, and then he's going to be tomatoless. Thanks, man.
Thanks, Nick.
Thanks for joining me on another excursion of Things Green. Our goal is to educate, inform, and entertain so you can become exposed to a green lifestyle inside and outside of the home and community, all on your terms. Join me next time right here as we help you with Things Green.